So, this is what Kraken Refuge looks like. It's a huge jungle map in which you, the player, have to hunt down this target over here and kill him as a bounty hunt. And along the way, though, you're going to start off on this island and you have to work your way up through the caves and through the island to get to a boat over here. And then from that boat, you're going to go over here, kill the ambush of the enemies. You do have enemies over here, but it's not a huge ambush. And then once you do that, you'll progress over here and you'll get to kill the main boss guy. So, um, so how I have it right now, when the player loads in, you're not going to have any single weapon. You start off with a paddle that you pick up right here if you notice it. And then you go through this kind of tutorial level if you don't know how to use the basic controls, like a melee weapon or just any weapon in general. There's pigs in this area and some birds. And then when you get in here, it breadcrumbs the ammo and the weapons, and you'll get your gun, and then you'll first encounter enemies with explosive barrels. You can use to distract or not distract, it's up to you. And then there's some boars in this area. So I believe this is boar right here. Oh, that's a grouse. Okay, maybe they're not in this. Oh, no, he's right there. So there's boars in this area, kind of towards the like higher end weapons. And the player can, if they want, they can go challenge themselves and run to that boar with a pistol and try to kill him. That is up to the player. The boars in this game are aggressive and will attack the player the minute they see him. And also too, the challenging thing about having a jungle setting, and the good thing about it is, you're hidden from enemies and stuff, and you'll probably see it through this playthrough. Um, when you get closer to an enemy, you can actually hide in the jungle, or you can run to a certain spot in the jungle, kind of like try to blend in with the trees and everything by crouching and things like that. And it actually goes to your benefit, but also goes against you and provides a challenge because then you won't see an enemy right away, and then all of a sudden they spot you and you're like, wait, where are they? So I want to add that challenge as well, not making it linear for the player to just run through and shoot things. So then, like I said, once again, the boat, you can go over here, kill people, and yeah. I'll start out the game, and hopefully it works. As you can see, it's already at 10 frame rates, or frame per second, I mean. Um, and it'll probably get lower. It always starts out high, and then it just completely goes down. So, we'll see how this goes. As you can see, all the loadouts are nothing. You literally have nothing. So you can choose anything really, it doesn't matter.
Bounty hunt.
You get your objective and it shows you that you need to go over here. Now, the player cannot just swim across because how I have the borders set up. If the player tries to go across, they'll die. They'll hit that border and it gives them 3 seconds to turn around and they'll die. Also, too, I have kind of like edges on the side, kind of like try to keep the player off from that area, because that's the one area where the map is still the border map is not sectioned off right there, so you have the cliffs to help. As you can see, my frame rate is pretty slow, but I'm gonna go over here and run. As you see, there's your first motion, you have a pig, and then you have like a bird that'll fly off. I wanted to add animals because it adds like more life to this place, and not just like enemies. It's like kind of what like how like kind of answers the question like how are these enemies surviving. It looks more natural and it helps with immersion. Also, too, like I said, you can do this as a tutorial, and you can go try to swing at the pigs and learn how to like run, crouch, hide, things like that. So I'm gonna run through. And then we have our first cave, which isn't far. Also, too, I did a breadcrumb effect. I just picked up a Molotov. And when you get to the cave, you'll see that you can pick up the medkit, which is at the entrance of the cave, and kind of tells the player, come here. Also too, there's a gun, I just seen it. It's right here. And it's a branch. So you slowly upgrade in this area. Also too, you can just mess around with the melee. Like I said, have fun with everything. I'm gonna go in this cave, pick up the med kit, and of course the music starts. It's kind of ambient as you go forward. I wanted it to be based off like Assassin's Creed 3, or not 3, 4, which is Black Flag, I believe. I believe that's the fourth one or the third one. One of the two. And of course, you have some part of life in here. You have rats. I wanted something in here to have motion and not make it all dull. I thought some motion would be good, better than nothing. As you see, I'm picking up a whole bunch of different ammo. Like I said, it's kind of like a breadcrumbs around. You can see on the ground, it's blowing up the player. And then you get to this area where you have a whole bunch of pistols on the ground. The player can choose which pistol they want. So we can get this one. They're all different types of pistols. The player can kind of play it in the cave area to see if which pistols they like better and kind of get their options. So I'm just gonna pick up the first pistol I see. Let's run over the ammo. Also too, I put most of the ammo on this island. Excellent shot. As you can see, I put most of the ammo on this island because I wanted to encourage exploration for the player, and I found that if I did it on this island, it would like the players can come back and get more ammo on this side. Also too, I wanted to provide another challenge. On the other islands, kind of like, oh, you have a whole bunch of supplies on this side, but once you get to the other side, you're not as fortunate. So let's see how I'll do. They heard my shot and they're running around. Let's see if there's any out here. And I'm not the greatest at first-person shooters, but I'll try my best. And of course, they show up on the map, which is really cool. And like I said, you use the jungle to your advantage. You do have to kill the enemies. As you can see, you hid. Or I hid. It was white, and then when I hid, also you don't really see them, you just know the general direction. And we just got spotted.
I see him there.
We got one.
Gonna teach him a lesson.
I think got one. And of course, these enemies are basic enemies. One has a melee bat, which he's running at me. The other one has a pistol as well. I want the first enemies to be very, very basic in this area, and then as you go up, you get worse enemies.
Don't watch you bleed.
It's on the ground. As you see too, they're camouflaged with the elements, which is the weird colors for the place. And that is it for this area. And of course, you have these huge things. Like I said, kind of act like, hey, come over here. I'll breadcrumb again. Also, too, there's explosive barrels, which you will see in a minute. There's a med kit just picked up. And then I can go up to it and fill up my ammo by pressing E. Also, too, there is explosive barrels, as you can see right now. I'll shoot at one that's in this area. I wanted to also add regular barrels. I don't remember if there's one exactly here, but I do know in some areas it's close to the color or it's close to it, so the player might accidentally shoot it because they think it's an explosive barrel. This adds another challenge where the player has to pay attention. And if you do shoot it, it explodes, and then it'll damage your ammo supply and everything like that, or things around it. Also, too, players can use it as kind of a lure tool, which I would have used if I didn't shoot in the cave. I would have lured the players to me by shooting the barrel and then shooting at them from here. But from here, I'm just going to go forward. Nope, I didn't pick it up. That's okay. There's a weapon on the ground right here. And as you can see, it is an auto rifle. And you can see that it has 120 bullets, which is pretty good. Also, see the player can switch between what they have. So I will still have the pistol, but now I will have a gun as well. And then here's the cave. There's some more medkits on the ground, kind of around it. Let's pick that up. Let me pick up this one. And I am full on medkits. Cool. There's a rat, of course. And also to add these Tecmite things kind of help with that cave as well. If I remember correctly, we're just going to be an enemy when we get out of the cave. And of course the objective is still highlighted for the player, just in case they forget, or they don't know the general direction they should be going. So, let me see if I can see him. Also too, like I said, with the pistol thing, it's the same again with the rifles. You can also get grenades now. So I'll go up to it and get a grenade. Also get a shotgun, I think this is a shotgun. Yeah, I can get a shotgun. Okay. So it's literally up to the player if they want to get a shotgun or other weapons on the way, or what's their playstyle. Mine is more of an auto rifle. I like spamming a button and shooting someone up, not just, let's see, oh there it is, there's auto. The enemy should be in this area. Like I said, the forest, or the jungle adds to the player's challenge. I think that's him. Nope, he's not right here. I know he's in this area. I'm gonna replace him. You're that he patrolled off. He's gonna spot me in a problem. Probably shoot out. Let's see if it lures him. Well, maybe it's not this one. Huh. Okay. So let me go this way. As you can see, there's one of the barrels. It like looks. Oh, no, that is explosion barrels. So I'll hit it. As you see, the enemies kind of run that direction. So now I have a general idea where the enemies are at. You kind of get them to see one, and then they can use the jungle kind of hide. He is great. One down. See if I can find the other ones. There it is. Oops.
Here it comes! Give up!
Oops. As you can see, my frame rate is kind of messing with it, but luckily I got back on my feet. And I was able to get him. So now I can just kind of explore more. I may encounter 1 or 2 more enemies. If not, then I missed them probably. Here's a regular barrel. Okay. Guessing that was the entrance. Yep. See, it helps with the player if there's glowing things in the way. So we made it to our last cave, which is this one. Oops. The entrance is right here. Sorry, it's sometimes it loads up kind of slow. Oops. It's kind of hidden in the trees. More ammo, which is always nice. And then with this cave, I wanted to do something interesting. I will see in a minute. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to give a kind of like a midpoint check for the player. Also too, I wanted to check the player's eyes. So what better way to do it than putting a random hole in a cave? And like you can see the village from here. So the player kind of is like interested if they didn't see the village before because they weren't really close to the shore with the other caves. Now the player kind of knows, okay, maybe I should try going that direction when I get out. As you can see the village. And then you have like, it's basically like a natural spotlight for the village for the player. And then I'm just going to continue. Now in this area, I wanted to give the player a second to breathe when they go to the boat. If this is the boat area. I think it is. Get your last guns. Or your last ammo before you head out. Yeah. This gives the player a moment to breathe. And also too, you can finally see the ocean, the water. Kind of gives the player that sense like they're on an island in the middle of nowhere. Helps with immersion. Just so take a run. Also too, I put that oceanic sound as well to help with the player when Assassin's Creed song is not playing. And here's the boat. And again, that was the first sight you see is the village, first village. Also too, I wanted to give the ocean a little bit more characteristic. So I added these boats. They're damaged, kind of falling apart. Kind of like something like destroyed all these ships in this area. That's why it's called Kraken Refuge, because it's like all these ships are damaged. And then if you go in the center of this area, you'll see like a whole bunch of ships damaged against rocks. And there's a lot of rocks in this area, as you can see. You have a whole bunch of cliffs and things like that. So the player can go on the boat. Instead of the player swimming just straight across, I wanted to give the player a chance to like have fun with the vehicle. So I added a boat. Also too, it's faster to get across, and if the player really wants to, they can change their playstyle and try to shoot some of the enemies that are like in the front of the village. But they wouldn't get too far, of course. then of course the player, the controls show, and the player can use WASD to move the boat. I'm gonna kind of go in this corner over here. You can see there's enemies right there. And in that corner, also too, I want to add some area where the player can kind of hide if you get off right there. And I'm getting spotted by enemies. Here. Get out really quick. There, on this island, there's different types of enemies. There's ones with rockets, like that. These enemies are a lot harder for the player, as you can see. I'm getting hit. Ah! If I do die right here, then I'll respawn over here. They're closing in on me, and yeah, I'm probably gonna die. As you can see, they're ambushing me and kind of swarming me. If I can get clear of this area really quick, that'd be nice. And there's explosive barrel, if I can shoot it. Also, too, I do have a sniper. I actually did it. Still a few enemies, so I'm probably gonna move because the AI on this game I found is very, very smart. As you can see, they're trying to ambush me and sneak up behind me. I'm trying to see if I can find cover somewhere, get away from them. And that's the nice thing about this village, there's so many places to cover, and the player can like figure it out, like how they want to cover. See, there's not an explosive barrel right there, kind of like giving the player false hope. And there's a rocket guy, as you can see. I do want it now. I'm gonna take an explosive barrel over here so I can draw the enemies this way. And then I can run the opposite direction. And there's a player behind me, or enemy behind me. Just in case there's one right here. And then there's a melee guy running at me. This is the other wave that just spawned because I killed 25%. Ah, he's coming at me. He's this guy. The rocket guy also called for help. The players can also use that to their advantage. Disadvantage. Because then enemies are going to move in on them quicker. Try to help their... Oh god. So you get the general hit of that area. You just get swarmed by a whole bunch of enemies. You have to kill them all and get through all the waves. And then you can move on to the second wave. So what I'm gonna do, since I died, I'm gonna move my player over here to the last area and do that part, since my frame rate's really low, and playing through this again would obviously take a longer time as well. So I hope you enjoyed this first gameplay. I'll see you in a few. So welcome back. So I changed some things so this video can go a little bit faster, or less the end of it. So of course, as you've seen in the previous video, we get ambushed by a lot of enemies. Um, and due to my frame rate, it's a little hard for me to navigate through the area and shoot and yada yada yada. But so I decided I replaced where the player is going to be, and I put in the loadout that the player should typically have at this point in this part of the game, which is at least a few assault rifles that you would find on the enemies that would come in the ambush, and if you went back in the village and searched around, you would have got these weapons. Also, too, I changed the waves so that, like I said, so I can show the ending faster. So all the enemies are going to be out currently right now, and so as the main boss guy is not required for the player to kill all the enemies. But in the published version, it's required, but in the version I'm about to play, it's not required. So I am going to kill all the enemies for the sake of it being like my published version of it. So without further ado, I'll begin. Also too, there are a few, I didn't add this now, but there are a few boars in the forest. I'll show you how they act and interact with the player. So I load in right here. You can see the object is still highlighted, and you can see some enemies in the corner. But there's some pigs over here. I'm gonna try to lure them out. You hear them. And see if one comes at me. They knock you down. They kind of come out of the forest, and they're smaller, and they do take a few hits. So, if I do it. And there's 2 of them in this area. So, they do run away after a while. I'm gonna try to hide right now. Oops, I just accidentally jumped. And I got spotted. And then, of course, again, in this area, there's harder enemies. If I do die right now, I will restart where I was, right here. Since I was just trying to mainly show you the boar as well. See, I don't know where this pistol guy went. And then in the final area, there's a mixture of everyone. So I got him. And then typically there would be a lot, like I said, a lot more enemies. Also too, there's medkits on the ground. I didn't load out with medkits, so I still wanted to venture around, show that aspect of it. We got more ammo. Also too, to switch my gun to this one. Also too, there is armor in this area. I'll show you one if I find one. I think they're up here. See, there's an enemy right there. I don't think my gun can shoot that far though. So I'm just gonna use the build moves to my advantage. Also too, I placed more enemies near the main boss guy. Originally I had it like that so the player wouldn't just try to go after the main boss when he shows up. Like, if there still be like that final challenge. As you see, there's also animals again. Also, it's nice to have animals in the village because sometimes you can get confused for like enemies because you see movement and you're like, wait, they're over there. But then it's an animal. Alright, so it's not hitting.
There's no future for you. Solid.
Oh, there's a crawler coming in.
Come to beat you down. Wait for me.
I'm trying to heal before he hits me. He's gonna hit me. The reason I love auto rifles. Still a lot of enemies. I need to move to the side.
I'm not afraid of you. Stand down.
Sadly, like I said, with the frame rate, it makes it a little hard. Or harder for me as it is to target enemies. And heal up really quick before he shoots me if I can.
Fuck you.
And he's going to third grenade. This was where I blew up his grenade. Oops. So I'm gonna try to run. Oh, there's a Rocketeer person. Try to hide. They're gonna try to sneak up on me, like I mentioned. It's right there. See if I can kill this person. Also, the main boss may have ran out, so I gotta be careful going in. And that's not the boss, but pretty sure it's pretty close. Ooh, there's a rocket. Ah. Let me just run towards it. Oops, should have ran the other way. I don't know why I did that, honestly. I have no med kits, so I'm just gonna see if I can just heal up. Or get spotted again by him. Should we get him? There's a med kit. Woo! Yeah, I think there's armor right here. Or is it another weapon? It's close to a near weapon. And then it asks me if I want to take a specific weapon. And like I said, there is enemies near the main boss guy, which he would be in that broken mansion. But by the looks of it, he probably moved. Which I don't blame. So in the last video, I cut it short. The reason was the boss. When the rocket person came out here, the boss also came out here, of course, because it was blurred, and it got killed by one of the boars that I missed in the forest. So I just got rid of the enemies, and I'm just going to show you how the main boss is, like how tough he is and everything like that. and I hope you enjoy. Let's see if I can place him right there. My guy, so he has a little cover. And of course I have the same loadout as before.
Bounty hunt.
So, you guys are gonna be over here. I'm gonna wait till he actually comes out to shoot that. Let's see if I can lure him out. He is right there. I want him in the mansion because I want him to kind of resemble kind of like the guy in charge. Oops. As you can see, he is a tough person. It's probably gonna be a bad thing to do. Is not take cover. Nothing very someday.
I can smell your finger.
As you can see, he has a laser dot. He has advanced weapons. It's not a difficult enemy. And he takes a lot. And then when he's close to dead, he'll kneel. And the player can finish him off. So after the main guy is dead, the exit zone will appear on the map, and the player will go to the exit zone to leave the level. And I'll show you that right now. I put the exit zone kind of out here. There's a huge pond area that I kind of left out. Kind of wanted to make sure that, like, kind of wanted to show that the land still or the ocean still affects the land. And so there's a huge pond-like area, and that one edge of it leads out into the ocean, which is right here. The player will go to it, kind of resembling leaving the island. And then you'll say leave. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your patience. I appreciate it. I'm sorry about the frame rate, and I hope you enjoyed playing this, watching this game. I enjoyed making this game and had fun with it. And I'll probably keep working on it because I really enjoyed it. And thank you for watching again.